Alright guys, MTech Guy here, and it's a wet and miserable all day outside today, and we've got issues with the M5. It's coming up with a warning on the dash here. I'll just scroll through with my check button on the indicator stalk here. So I'll just get you a bit closer there. Got that warning come up on the dashboard. So that's telling us that there's an issue with the parking distance control unit. That's your parking sensors front and rear. And if you scroll through on your iDrive to your check control messages, you'll see this PDC failure there, and if we click into that, you'll get this message up on the iDrive there. And also if we hit the parking distance button down here on the center console, you can see the green lights flashing there, letting us know that we've got an issue. Now then, there's several parts within the parking distance control set up throughout the car that can contribute to getting this warning, but 9 times out of 10 it's usually one of the little sensors on the bumper that's failed. Over time they can start letting water in, so you might see this warning come up after you've washed the car, especially with a pressure washer, or like today outside it's pretty wet and miserable, and one of them must be letting water in there. But do keep in mind when you come to diagnose this issue, if you're getting this warning up on your dash, that it might not be the parking sensors themselves. It could be one of the other parts that make up the parking distance control setup throughout the car that are causing the issue. So basically it's made up of 8 sensors. You've got 4 in the front and 4 in the rear bumper, and each of them sensors at the front sit on one harness, and then it's the same at the rear. So you've got 2 separate parking distance control harnesses, one front, one rear, and then you've also got a module in the boot that controls everything, and then you've got a power feed to that module, and also the communication back from the module to the computer of the car. So it can be any of them parts that can fail. It can be the harnesses themselves, it can be the module, it can be the power feed to the module itself. So it could be a wiring issue, it could be a module issue, but yeah, like I say, 9 times out of 10 it's just one of the sensors that fail because they're exposed to the elements, and they can begin to let water in over time. Now you can carry out a bit of a quick fix. If once you've identified which sensor it is, you can use some water displacement fluid, a bit like WD-40, CRC spray, something like that. That'll get you by for a little while, but really it's not a proper fix. You know, it'll fix it initially, but the best idea is just to change out the sensor for a new one. This E60 M5, they are painted, body colour matched to the rest of the car, so when you do order the part, just make sure you get the one that's the correct colour, that's going to match the rest of the car, of course. So anyway, in today's video we're going to diagnose what's causing the issue. Now at this stage I'm not going to bring out the diagnostic tool. We're just going to do a nice quick easy check at the sensors themselves, and that'll show you guys out there, if you're not got a scan tool or anything like that and you're searching for this problem or the cause of the problem on your E60, it can be done quite easily, unless you have to go further, of course. But yeah, we'll just run through it. So what happens when you've got this parking distance control switched on is that them 8 sensors, the 4 at the front, the 4 at the rear, they're sending out like a sort of like an ultrasonic signal, and then that's how it detects if you're getting close to anything. So just a little trick we're going to do today is, if you just put your ear up to the sensors themselves, you can normally hear them just making like a ticking noise when they are active, when they are functioning correctly. We'll just check all 8, and then if we find that one's not making a noise at all, that'll just sort of point us in the right direction, and it's likely that that sensor's failed. So anyway, we'll go and have a listen, and then I'll try and get close with the camera and just see if I can pick it up on the microphone. I'm not sure whether it will or not, but I'll give it a go, and that might give you guys an idea of what to listen out for. Okay, so first off, before we head out the car, we're just going to make sure that the parking distance control switch is on. You can see it flashing away there with defaults, but that just makes sure that them sensors are sending out a signal now, and then we'll go and have a listen. Okay, so we're at the back of the car now, and we'll have a good listen to these sensors. We'll start off with the rear left, and then we'll just work our way around the car. So here we go. Rear left middle, right rear middle, and then right rear. And it's sounding like that one's the culprit, but we'll just check out the others at the front. There's the front right. front right middle. Then round the other side. We've got the front left middle. And then the front left last one. Alright, we'll jump back in the car. Alright, so there you have it. So it was that right rear sensor that wasn't making a noise. The other 7 sound like they're functioning correctly. So what we'll do is we'll order the new part now and we'll get it fitted, and then we'll fire everything up, make sure the warning's gone, and we'll just have another listen around the car, and hopefully that's resolved the issue. Alright guys, we're back again now with the M5. Now it's been a number of days since we last diagnosed our faulty parking sensor there, because it didn't stop raining for like 3 weeks, but that's okay anyway, because we've had to wait for the new part to arrive. I've ordered one here off eBay in the UK with it's got the correct paint code on the end there, so we're good to go with that one. So while I was waiting for the rain to clear and the new part to arrive, I've edited the first half of this video. Now I can appreciate with all the background noise, the rain on the tin roof here, when I demonstrated the noise that these parking sensors give off while you're diagnosing them, it was probably quite hard to make it out. So what I'll do before we get into replacing the faulty one, I'll just give a demonstration of this one and the good one there, just while we haven't got any background noise, and it might just give you guys a better idea of what that sounds like. Alright, so there you go. I hope you guys were able to make out that demonstration a bit better than the previous example I gave when it was raining. Now then, to gain access to replacing this sensor here, unfortunately we can't just slip our hand up behind the bumper there, so we actually have to remove the bumper. Now what I'll do in this video, I'll just go through the basics briefly on how to remove the bumper, and what I'll do is I'll put up another video after this specific to removing and reinstalling the bumper in greater detail. And look at the size of this thing on the E60. It's huge. Remember the days when it just used to be a skinny little chrome bumper there? Look at the size of this thing. Anyhow, let's take a look at the steps on how to remove this thing. Alright, so to remove this monster of a bumper, to start off with, we're going to remove all the fasteners. So we're going to pop the boot first, and then we'll find 2 torque screws on the inside there, just underneath the light, and then it'll be the same behind the other light. And then we're going to move round to the wheel well here, and there's 4 screws there, 8mm heads, so we need an 8mm socket for them. There's a small plastic rivet to pop out down the bottom here, and then of course same on the other side on the other wheel well. And then to finish up, we're going to sneak under here, and where the diffuser is, where the plastic panel comes underneath, there's 4 bolts under there. And then once all the fasteners are removed, we're going to grab hold of the bumper right about here, pop it out, same on the other side, and then we'll come around the back, just get a good hold of the bumper, and then we're just going to slide it away from the car, and it should just slip off nicely. So like I say, I'll just go through the removal fairly quickly in this video, but I will do a specific video on the bumper removal and reinstallation, which I'll link at the end of this video. Okay, so to start off with, we'll start off in the boot here. Now there's 2 torque screws hidden behind this panel here under the rear light, same on the other side, so we'll start with them first. So first off, we need to remove the 2 panels, so we'll lift up the spare wheel well cover first. and I'll just unclip the connector here for the PDC wiring harness there before I pull the bumper too far away and put any weight on this harness. Alright, so I've got the bumper on the ground here, and what I've done, I've spun it round just to get a bit of daylight behind here, shed some light on the job so you can see the 4 parking sensors here, and of course it was that right rear one which we were looking at, which is this one. This is the bad one. So what I'll do now is I'll unclip that and then we'll fit the new one. So first off, I'll remove the connector for the harness, and there's just a wee push clip there, so we'll get hold of that and pull it off. And then next up, we want to pull the sensor out this way, and there's just 2 clips there. There we go, that's the bad one. I've got the shiny new one here. We'll just push that back in the same orientation as we removed the other one. Just clip that in, make sure it's got a good hold of it, and then the harness can be plugged back on. There we go. So now we're ready to reposition the bumper back on the car, and that's it. That's the bumper back on and everything back together. Okay, as you can see, we're back in the car now, so we'll start the car up. Big test, we'll see if we've resolved the issue. So all I've done there is I've just pressed the button down the bottom here and then back off again, and that looks like it's cleared the code, cleared the fault. We'll just hit the check button on the stalk here, press and hold that, check OK. It's like we've resolved it. We just hit the button here. If we force them on, we can hear that alarm's going off, that it's picking up that we're close to the front bumper there, so the system's back in action now. And we'll just go back to the rear bumper and we'll just check them 2 sensors that we're getting a good read in there. Alright guys, that's that job sorted. So I hope you found the video interesting, especially if you're having a similar issue with your own parking sensors on your E60 M5. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm MTech Guy. Thanks for watching.